When we think about the narratives of the biblical text, there's something important that we often overlook that we have to keep in mind. The narratives are part of God's revelation of himself. That should suggest to us that it's about God. It's not about Abraham, it's not about Esther, not about Ruth or Moses or David or Nehemiah. It's about God. What we find with the narratives is often that situations are described. Just because they're described doesn't mean that they become prescriptions, things that we are obliged to follow. Our duty in response to the Bible is not that we act like Abraham or David or Moses or Ruth or Esther, but that we become imitators of God. When we get to a book like Nehemiah, there's a lot of positive things about Nehemiah, and he is a successful leader. In that sense, the book of Nehemiah offers us an example of successful leadership. That's not the same thing as saying that it is a model, a biblical mandate for how leadership ought to take place. Just because Nehemiah was successful doesn't mean that that forms a paradigm for everyone else to do all the time. So there are certainly things that Nehemiah did well, but maybe some of them would only work in his situation and not in others. God made Nehemiah a successful leader, regardless of what things he might have done well or might have done wrong. The book of Nehemiah, like any other, is revelation of God. Nehemiah's leadership, again, while successful, cannot stand as a biblical model for leadership. We have to be careful that we don't turn descriptions into paradigms that we then claim have biblical authority. Nehemiah's leadership skills are evident. His leadership style does not have authority. It is described in the book. The book is about what God did through Nehemiah. And God can do his will, his plan, through many different kinds of leadership styles. And we shouldn't make the mistake of thinking that the Bible is trying to deliver to us a model for leadership that we are obliged to follow.